Good day everyone and welcome to this Magic Bombblade bombing build for the High Isle patch. Because of the addition of the Oakensoul mythic, some changes can be made to Bombblade right now because it got quite a few buffs because of it. And in general I just wanted to make an update to that build, since in the previous patches I've been using range bombing a lot, but now I'm going back to melee bombing. These days I simply prefer melee bombing for a couple of reasons, such as it's just a bit more satisfying to play, but also the dark conversion sets can sometimes not work when it's lagging a lot and it will just like stun people without really pulling them into the middle. But such small things together make me prefer melee Bombblade. In any case, both of these can still work. Range Bombblade is still with Vicious Death and Dark Convergence of course, and I'm sure you can put those together based on what I'm going to show in this video as well. I'm going to go over the build part quickly because I mean it's a one-bar build, it's pretty simple. So for starters and for the sets, I have 5 pieces of Vicious Death with the Oakensoul mythic, and then Balorg, and then 4 pieces of Stuns. I'm running 5 medium and 1 light. This is mainly to get the spell damage and the critical damage from medium armor. I'm not really interested into the penetration from light. This is mainly because of Balorg, which is going to give a lot of penetration once you cast your ultimate. The weapons are 2 axes. This is going to give me more critical damage. I have a pretty good crit chance of 42.1% once I get the minor savagery buff from Nightblade. This will go to about 50%. So with that, it's a good idea to go start building into critical damage, which is exactly what I'm doing, especially because, as I mentioned, I don't really need much more penetration. I have a base penetration of 5.5k, and once Balorg procs and all that, I'll get, I don't know, 15k or more. In any case, the enchants are full spell damage on the jewelry. I have the infused trait. I think ideally you might want to go bloodthirsty, but I don't really care beyond these 2 because infused is very good as well for it. Full Divine's armor, of course. The Balorg is still impenetrable, but that's because I used on some other classes as well. Full maximum magicka enchants on the armor. On the weapons, I have the sorcery draining poison over here, which gives me basically 10% more spell damage, which is very useful to have. The single target spell resistance reduction is not really useful though, but the 3.5 seconds spell damage boost, that's just about the duration of your bomb, and if you proc this potion, which is not going to happen every time, but it will happen every now and then, it's a really strong boost in spell damage. Then for the skills, I'm having Shadowy Disguise, Proximity Detonation, the AoE spammable. You have 3 options here. Either you go for the magicka version of this, which is Sap Essence. The benefit of that is that it will give you a bit of a heal as well. It's not really that useful while you're doing the bomb because you're already going to get a big heal from Soul Tether, but in between bombs you don't really have a heal, so you're able to cast that and it will give you just a little bit of healing, even if you don't hit the target with it. But that's basically the least amount of damage though if you go with Sap Essence. Then there's Power Extraction, which is a stamina morph. It will deal the same damage, but it will also give you minor courage, so you get some more spell damage. And then the last option you have is in dual wield here, Steel Tornado. I like this version over Whirling Blades because, or whatever the other morph is called when you execute, because the other morph has a really small radius, and I find it rather difficult to get big bombs with that to reliably hit all the enemies. But even your Steel Tornado, I think technically would be the most amount of damage because you have a lot of nice boosts to it, such as here you have 15% damage bonus because you're attacking a stunned enemy from Soul Tether, and you also get an execute scaling here. Under 25% health. In any case, the next skill is Lotus Fan. You can use that in case you didn't really make it into the enemy group while you're walking to it. It's a gap closer, which is nice, but I mainly just have it for the passive that Nightblade has that gives it another 10% critical damage. And then the next one is Channeled Acceleration. That's just here for the speed boost. I cast it right before I cast the Proximity Detonation, so I can get into a group quickly. And for the minor force, of course, another 10% crit damage on top of this. You can understand that with 50% crit chance and this many crit damage bonuses, when you do hit those crits, it will hit really hard, and that's basically what will get you those first kills that get the bomb going. And then as an ultimate, you have Soul Tether, of course. Then for the character, I'm a high elf, but literally any race will do, you don't need to worry about that. Ideal would probably be like high elf and Khajiit, probably. Then full maximum magicka for the attributes. Here you can see the stats really quickly, unbuffed. And then next to that, the Muns is the Thief, again for more crit chance. You could also go the Shadow, but then I think your critical chance will be like 40% or a bit lower, which is a bit low. I'd rather have 50% because that makes it more reliable. It's a bit up to you, both will work regardless. Vampire stage 3, and then the Ice Cream, which is Ghastly Eyeball, I think, yeah, it's Ghastly Eyeball, the food, which gives me Magicka and Magicka Regeneration. It's useful for staying in Cloak basically forever. The potions that I use are immovability potions over here. This one, that gives you immovability, but also invisibility, and that makes sure that when you go into an enemy group to bomb it, you won't get CC'd by things like Fire Rune and whatever else revealing flare that they might have. It will not stun you. Lastly, for the champion points, I have Occult Overload, of course, it's the Bombblade CP, Fighting Finesse, Biting Aura, and Master at Arms. And then for the red CP, I have Celerity, Bastion, Rejuvenation, and Boundless Vitality. The only really important CP here is Bastion, because it will give you more spell damage against sorcerers that have a shield up. Not that there's that many of those around anymore, but you know, anything's useful to have. And then, yeah, on green CPs I have Sustaining Shadows, Steed's Blessing, Warmount, and Gifted Rider. Anyway, that's it for the build. I hope you enjoy playing this if you choose to play Bombblade as well. It's quite a good time to play it with the Oakensoul ring and all that, but in general Bombblade is pretty strong right now. And enjoy the following gameplay in this video. I've gathered a couple of clips that I already have dispatched, so it's not going to be a big montage or, well, something with like a lot of bombs in it that I usually release. It will just be a couple of bombs. But be rest assured that later on the patch you'll get another classic Bombblade montage from me as well. In any case, enjoy, have a good one, and see ya!